Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
I love it. I'm a fan of this. I'm here for it.
Hey, welcome to Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe and Ryan.
That's right. I'm your host who vacations in a cemetery, Joe Wakefield.
Well, you should come to Monroe. There's a lot of creepy old cemeteries out there. Hi, I'm Ryan.
Hi. So, guys, if you're returning listeners to the show, thank you for coming back. Please do us a favor and hit that download button wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, that's a big help. Maybe leave a review if you'd like. Make sure to make your way over to our YouTube channel because we will be posting videos there.
Absolutely. And guys, if you are joining us for the first time, you might be wondering, well, what is this show? What do you guys do?
What?
Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you what we do.
Tell them.
We are a perfect blend of pop culture and paranormal. So the first part and the last part of the show kind of sandwich everything, a framing device, if you will, which is all paranormal and pop culture. Excuse me, paranormal, not pop culture. Pop culture's in the middle. That's what I was trying to get with.
That's right.
Yes. So we got a segment called Spooky Stuff. It's at the beginning. It's usually cryptozoology, sometimes hauntings, myths, legends, but it's always spooky.
Yeah.
Then we have our pop culture segment, which we cover the nerd news of the day, sometimes celebrity deaths, anything else that's going on in the genre space. And then we close it all up with disclosure discussion, which is all about aliens, and real world weird, which is, I'd say, pretty self-explanatory. And then that's our show. That is Earthling Entertainment, and we welcome you. That's it.
Yes.
That was my spiel. That was my hello, everyone.
So, yeah, we hope you enjoyed today's Oreo.
Yes, that's right. The cookie being the paranormal and the pop culture being the creamy center. And as Ryan likes to say, you guys, what?
Your ears are the milk
Your ears.
that we dunk it in.
There you go. There you go.
Dunking in your ears.
So, guys, I checked out a Dracula movie on Sunday. I went to the theater, and I always see a movie every Sunday, and I didn't know what to watch because there was nothing new that was coming out in particular. And long story short, I saw, Dracula. Why have I not heard about this movie? Who's in it?
Didn't they just do Dracula?
Well, see, here's the thing. This is the director Luc Besson, which is the guy who did The Fifth Element. He also did Valerian, City of a Thousand Planets, a bunch of stuff. He did Lucy a while back with Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but he usually has very strong female protagonists, because Lilu from The Fifth Element comes to mind. He also worked with Mila Jovovich in The Messenger, which was the Joan of Arc movie.
Yeah.
All of this to say, he is a French director, and the movie came out, I didn't realize this, last July in France and in Europe. So it just came out February 6th in the United States, but it's been out for like 6 months. So that's why no one here is really hearing about it. I don't see any previews and stuff for it. And it was good, but it was different take on Dracula. They called it Dracula, a love story. And
no.
Well, it's actually not bad. But I knew that going in, so it wasn't a surprise. But really, that's what it was. They made it about him becoming Dracula was because he lost his wife, and he was like, "Well, fuck God, I'm not, until you bring her back, I don't care about you anymore. You can go to heck, you crazy."
It's like the same as Hotel Transylvania.
A little bit, except,
Because he lost his wife.
Yeah, well, no, but losing his wife is what made him a vampire.
Oh.
Do you see what I'm saying? He was Prince Vlad. He was the normal prince. He's like, hey, if my wife dies, God, me and you are going to have it out. So his wife dies, and then he's like, no, bring her back. If not, screw you. And then he's cursed after he kills a priest and becomes a vampire. And all these vampire minions are all about trying to find the reincarnation of his wife. So the whole thing is him. It's the most French Dracula movie you'd ever see in your life.
It sounds very French.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The only thing I didn't like, really, because it reminded me of Crimson Peak. It was a gothic romance horror. If you like that, you like this. There was a lot of really cool horror elements and things that are like scary imagery, but overall, it was just a gothic romance. It was definitely not a horror movie. Christoph Waltz was in it. He did a good performance. But the only thing that was bad, what I was going to say, is Dracula developed this perfume that he, before he started doing his major Dracula stuff, when he's just started out like young Dracula, year one.
Yeah.
He goes to Florence, he goes to Italy, and that's the same thing. All over the place. He goes to France, and he develops India. He develops this perfume that basically acts as if the old Axe commercials. Do you remember in the early 2000s where the kids would spray Axe on and suddenly all the ladies would just be like,
Yeah.
oh, suddenly I'm all hot and bothered, and they start rubbing on you and such.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. So Dracula is like, bitches love me. Sorry, it comes from this perfume, not like any supernatural power, which I thought was a really weird take.
So that's how he is seductive, is
A perfume.
A perfume.
Yeah. Which I thought was really weird.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's very, very strange.
It is. But so Christoph Waltz was great. He was the main actor. The other actors I hadn't really heard of. I looked up the guy though, and the guy who played Dracula. He has a very unique look. There's no other way to say it. He's got these lines on his face that kind of like you think of like William Dafoe or something like that. He's got a unique look. So I'm like, I know I haven't seen this guy, but it turns out I did. His name, by the way, is Caleb Landry Jones. Caleb Landry Jones. He played the lad in Dracula. Well, and the only other thing I saw him in was way back when in 2010 he did X-Men First Class. He was the Banshee, the one that screams and like had the wingsuit.
Yeah.
That guy.
Banshee.
Yeah. And then Zoe Bleu. I'm not kidding her. It's Blewu, and Zoe. And I'm not French, so I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. But long story short, she's an actress who's not done a whole lot of stuff, but she did a great job in this film. Because if you know what you're getting into, a kind of gothic romance with some cool horror elements, but essentially a love story, I would highly recommend this movie. It's really good. But if you're going in trying to see like a straight up vampire, like dark take on Dracula, not the movie for you.
Yep. You know.
Yeah. Oh, and Ryan, do you want to know where I saw this movie?
Where did you see this movie?
I saw this movie at MJR Theaters, which is now a friend of the show. We've worked out a little bit of a deal, and they will be advertising on the show.
Yeah.
So it will put out spots for them, and anyone who is in the Michigan area, definitely check out MJR Theaters.
And always clap. You always clap at the part. You know the part I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. So when you go to the MJR, if you haven't gone to MJR, these people in different states, they have a jingle like most theater chains, and they have like, it's more than just a movie, it's a great night out. Bum, bum, bum. And everyone in the theater has to clap at those three.
That's
drums.
right. And but no, I try to go to the movies. Like whenever there's a new horror, I usually take my girlfriend and we go. That's pretty much about it. We pretty much just go out for the horror movies.
Well, you know what? It's good to go out to the movies whenever you can. It's not like, see, unfortunately, COVID kind of hit it hard where people got out of practice to going to the movies, and a lot of people haven't returned yet. That's actually part of the reason why we reached out to MJR is we wanted to support film exhibition and encourage all of our listeners to go to the movies. And if you're not in Michigan, go to a local theater, go to mom and pop. I'm not a fan of AMC, but they're the big boys, and chances are they're the closest one to you. So if that's your only option, go to them. Do your thing.
I have a Phoenix
MJR's
near
the
me.
best, though.
Yeah, MJR is awesome. I've been going to MJR since I was a kid. Like you were saying before.
Remember
they
when
were
they had a dollar show?
Yeah, they were a dollar theater.
Well, not all of them were. They just had a dollar theater.
Yeah, they had one, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
so like
things aren't a dollar anymore.
Well, that was my whole upbringing. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
Like we always went and I never cared that because you have to wait till it cycles through the bigger theaters, but then it came to the dollar theater and you can go see it on the big screen.
Yeah, right before it got released. Back when we had 90-day theatrical windows, which I hope someday we return to.
Don't just see the movies, experience the movies in IMAX at the MJR Troy and MJR Southgate Cinemas. See the movies like never before in stunning 4K laser IMAX projection on a massive screen. Feel the movies with heart-pounding IMAX precision sound and experience true movie-going bliss in our fully powered luxury recliner seats. Get your IMAX tickets at mjrtheaters.com for the world's most immersive film experience. Now featured at the MJR Troy and Southgate Cinemas.
Since we're on the topic of movies, guys, Sunday was the Super Bowl.
It was.
Yeah, and they had a bunch of movie trailers like they always do. And Ryan, I wanted to tell you a little bit of our thoughts. Ryan, is there any of the movie trailers that really stand out to you that you saw?
The Tauntauns with the Mandalorian and Grogu were hilarious. Them leading, I love that they did that. Had them like leading a sled.
Yes.
That was very tasteful.
I feel like no one got what they were referencing though, which I thought was pretty funny. So if you didn't see it, it starts out with it's snowy and you see like a horse-drawn wagon, and as it moves closer, you realize that they're tauntauns. And then it turns out the Mandalorian and Grogu from the coming up movie Mandalorian and Grogu and the TV show The Mandalorian, they're driving the sleigh. Well, most people don't realize this is a exact, like almost shot for shot remake of an old Super Bowl commercial for beer. It was like an old beer commercial where they had a horse-drawn carriage. They were redoing that, and I thought it was a really weird choice considering that the original commercial came out so long ago. I guarantee anyone going to see The Mandalorian and Grogu has not seen or remembers that damn beer commercial.
I not at all.
Yeah, so
I was over here assuming that this like I'm like, oh, so I guess they had to do some time on Hoth or something.
it was
Like-
original short film.
Like that's so funny.
Yeah,
No,
I
I had no idea.
As far as I know, that has nothing to do with the movie. There's probably not them riding sleds and tauntauns.
And they got what's his name? The guy with the perfect cowboy voice.
Sam Elliott.
That's right. It was incredible.
Yeah, Sam Elliott narrating. I don't know if he narrated the original commercial, but anytime he narrates, you gotta love Sam Elliott.
It's instantly recognizable. It was excellent.
You know, it's funny that that worked so much for you because I don't know if you notice online, everyone is bitching about that. Everyone says that the Mandalorian and Grogu wasted their trailer and they spent $10 million for a TV spot for a stupid joke. And this was your chance to get information, because the movie comes out in May. So they're like, you should have been a trailer, should have been story trailer, showed us something cool. So the internet is pissed. But you know what's funny? I also just kind of liked it.
It was funny.
I didn't realize the internet was pissed till I went online.
And we've said it before. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, and it's just the fact. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can have it, but like to let it ruin your day is a bummer because it's like at the end of the day, it's more Star Wars. Take what you can get.
Well, there's a lot more Star Wars now than there used to be, so I don't know if we need to take what we can get as much as the olden days. But that being said, I am on board and like something before I hate it. I never go into something being like, this is going to be crappy, even
Right.
if it's something I have no idea. Like, for instance, that Dracula movie I was talking about, I went in completely cold. I literally knew nothing about it besides who directed it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get the best results that way. And you don't have to like everything Star Wars has done to be a Star Wars fan. And you don't have to hate everything new Star Wars makes to be a true Star Wars fan who likes the originals. Like, take the stuff you like, take the stuff you don't like, and move on. Like, it doesn't matter.
No, it definitely doesn't matter. But
So, I hope it does well. I
me
hope
too.
it does well. Yeah.
No, I know it will do well. I honestly I get it that Mandalorian has a bit more of a niche audience than just a straight up Star Wars film, but I think it'll do well.
It could. I don't know. I think it'll do at least 500 million, which, $500 million for that is, I think, pretty good.
Not too bad.
But let's jump into a couple of these other ones. Project Hail Mary. If you're a longtime listener of the show, you'll know that I read the book and I loved the book. I think this trailer did a better job of giving the real tone of the story because ultimately this character, the main character that is played by Ryan Gosling, is going off on a mission to save the world because something, I don't want to give anything away, but something is happening to our son and we're all going to die unless he can figure out how to fix it. While he's out there, he comes across an alien, and this isn't a spoiler because this is all if you listen to the dialogue in the trailer.
It's in the trailer, yeah.
Yeah, but an alien spaceship comes by, he meets an alien, and he finds out that the alien is there for the same reason. His planet is also dying because their sun is dying. So they're like, can we solve this problem together? And the story is really about the relationship between the Grace and the alien Rocky. And it's kind of touching, and it's really, really good. And I think this trailer focused on that better, and I really liked it. But I'm curious, Ryan, you really know nothing about this story. You haven't read the book, and I don't know how much of the trailers you've seen. So how did this hit you? What were your thoughts?
I was impressed. There's been a lot of movies like that lately, right? Like there was the one that Adam Sandler just did, where he was like, there was like the giant spider alien.
I didn't actually see that one, so I can't draw a comparison.
So that's what that kind of reminded me of. Where it's
did
like,
you see it?
I did.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll be honest. I thought it was kind of like it was worth a watch. I'll say that. I'm not saying it's not worth a watch, but it wasn't. I don't know. I would never watch it again. But anyway, I digress. That's what that reminded me of. It gave me a lot of that reference, but it obviously looked different, better, newer, probably more of a budget. It looked good. I'll bet it's going to be a great movie.
What do you think it'll do in the box office? Do you think it'll flop, or do you think it'll find its audience?
Have you heard a lot of hype for it?
It's hard to say because I'm really jaded in, I shouldn't say jaded, that's not the right word. I'm in a bubble, Ryan, because I talk in film industry people. I have friends in the film industry. I have friends that read sci-fi. So everyone I know loves this movie. And if you were just going to go by the people I'm talking about, it's going to be a $4 million movie. The first $4 billion movie, I mean to say. $4 billion.
I feel like if I were to tell my
It's
coworker,
impossible, by the way. Nothing's got above 2 billion.
to telling my coworkers at the plant, I think being like, hey, there's this movie with Ryan Gosling and he's going to make friends with an alien named Rocky and they're going to save the world. Well, I guarantee they would be like, that sounds dumb.
to be fair, even though everything you said is factual, the way you worded it did sound pretty dumb.
I'm just saying that I had to. But I hope it does well.
Fair enough. Your turn.
Yeah, so I want to bring up actually Minions and Monsters. My kids love Minions.
Yeah.
So
what kid doesn't?
I love Minions. The Minions movies are great. But man, I was saying it when we were watching it, Joe, it's just crazy to see how far these CGI animations have gone. It looks like you can reach out and friggin' touch them. They look solid, they look real.
Good, yeah, lighting effects, it all looks great.
Yeah, it's incredible. But the story seems really funny. They're making a movie where it's starring the Minions and they need monsters and stuff, so they start to resurrect monsters with the help of Cthulhu.
Yeah, as one does. Yeah. They first summon Cthulhu.
Yep.
Who's an adorable little green minion-sized Cthulhu, which I don't know if it's like baby Cthulhu or
he can speak.
Or they elaborated on Cthulhu. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to explain why he's just
maybe just the telephone effect, like someone saw him and over time he became scary and he's really just a little guy, but he can talk.
Sure, he can talk. He seems quite friendly, but he helps them summon other monsters.
Which is it looks great. It honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait to watch it with my kids. So that one I'm definitely looking forward to.
It's funny because I have seen all the Despicable Me's, and the fourth one I didn't really care about. And
it's pretty good.
I've seen all the Minion movies, the two of them. This actually appeals, and it's probably because I'm a film guy and they're making a movie. But this actually appeals to me more than any other Despicable Me or Minion thing has at all.
I have to agree, and kudos to them, right, for coming up with such a good idea to continue on with this. The fact that it's actually good.
It is. I wonder when it takes place, right? I think it'll probably take place because the Minion movies, the last one was The Rise of Gru. So they had Gru when he was a kid in the 70s. So since this is them making movies, is Gru going to be in it and they're just off a vacation away from Gru? Is this the Minions before that time when they haven't met him yet? I don't know. Just curious. It doesn't really matter.
My assumption is, this will take place somewhere in the in-between times, maybe. Between them and Gru, because they had a whole adventure to find Gru in in the Minions movie.
Sure.
So there could be maybe some time that they skipped there and they could do it there.
I don't know. I think we've honestly at this point thought too much about the Minions. But let's talk a little bit about our show's bread and butter, which is spooky stuff and alien stuff. Steven Spielberg is doing another alien movie. I'm sure everyone knows if you're listening to this podcast, but it's called Disclosure Day. Emily Blunt's in it. Come on, Steven Spielberg and aliens, and they've only had a couple trailers. So this new trailer, you know what? I want you to go first.
It looks great. I'm really, really intrigued. It seems like it's kind of a classic thing. One dude knows the truth, and he's got to get the truth out there, and then they're after him, is what it seems like. So they're trying to stop him.
Yeah, he's going to release all the information the government has on aliens all at once. It's going to be Disclosure Day. And they had this great image in the trailer of a crop circle being formed, which is just kind of the wheat kind of falling into pattern.
With a person standing there.
Yeah, but the wheat's falling on its own in a pattern. And it's kind of this way that, because people have described the mowing devil, which was way back when. And that's kind of how it was described. It's it just happens. Here's the thing, though. There's nothing in this trailer that has really piqued my interest that much. I'm interested because it's Steven Spielberg, and I'm interested because it is aliens. And besides that crop circle thing I didn't just mention, there's nothing in this that I'm like, yay! Like
that's
it's
what
just
it seems almost like an action flick.
I want it to be something, and I don't know if I don't even know what that something is that I want it to be. So whether or not this film could live up to it is hard to say. My hopes are high.
That would certainly be hard to. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't
right?
calculate that.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. But my hopes are high.
Mine too. Mine too. No, I'm of course we're all gonna see it. You know, this is gonna be the movie that everybody goes and sees, like for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
All right. So Ryan, what about the Mario Galaxy movie?
Mario Galaxy movie, I feel like they're gonna lose some hype, but I mean, as far as the trailer looked great, it looked fun. They're doing obviously based on the game Mario Galaxy, which I did not play, and I know you said you didn't either.
No, I didn't play very much Mario after Mario 64 because I kind of turned to PlayStation products. Like as soon as like the first PlayStation came out, except for a brief Xbox 360 cheating, I pretty much have been a PlayStation man my whole life.
The new Mario Kart is pretty sweet. But anyways,
How
so-
did the movie look to you?
it looks like it'll be I'm sure it'll be great, right? But I hate to say it, I really don't care that much.
I think it's because it's a lot of creatures and worlds that we don't know about and we haven't seen. Although seeing Yoshi on the big screen,
That was awesome.
I did like the part where he ate one of the bad guys and turned him into an egg and
Yep,
pooped him out.
Pooped him right out, just lifted his
Or
leg.
I should say laid him. Not,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say laid him. Well, I don't know.
Just lifted his leg and laid him.
Yeah. And I like seeing baby Mario and Luigi. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. No, like I said, I guarantee it's going to be great. I'm afraid if they're thinking it's going to hit the numbers that it did before, I think they'll be wrong.
Well, it did
in my-
1.3 billion the first time. So
Yeah,
I think
I
if you
just-
make 800 million, it's a good day for Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, I think they will.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then finally, Scream 7. Here are my thoughts. This is not any new information as far as the trailer is concerned. It's about the same. There was one shot where the ghost face tackles a gentleman who is covered in plastic, and that person gets stabbed. I could be wrong, but I think that might be Joel McHale. I've been wanting to know where he is in the marketing, and he plays Sydney's husband. And Joel McHale plays Jeff in Community, which is why I've been a huge fan of Joel McHale. But long
Oh,
story
okay.
short, I think he dies. I think he's like the first one who dies because he's like not in any of the trailers, any of the marketing. And I think him getting tackled in the plastic and who that was, I think that was Joel McHale. But I have nothing to base that on. I haven't seen the movie. That's what I think. So I'm looking forward to Scream 7 as much as anyone else. I want to see Matthew Lillard return, and I'm interested. I'm interested in how we could pivot from the new heroines we set up in the last two, and how we can just be like, and back to Sydney.
I pretty much, if I remember right, I think I've only seen the first three. So, like, I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to anything new. But
To be perfectly honest, you could probably jump right in
That's
after
what-
those first three. Yeah.
and that's what I figured, right? Because that was like the main story, really, right? And they just kept going. But like,
essentially.
you know what I mean? But so, I mean, I'm excited. I love Matthew Lillard. I love his work. I think he's amazing.
Yeah, the
So-
fact that they brought him back after he so clearly died in the first one, which, I mean, to be fair, a TV got dropped on his
I'm getting
face.
a little woozy.
Yeah, but a TV smashed his face, so he could have lived, which I guess is
could
what they're
live.
going with,
Yeah, he
right?
lived.
Like he got fucked up and he's in a mental hospital all this
Yep.
time.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's locked up in a mental hospital for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's one shot in the trailer where they zoom into the mental hospital, and there's one line by Matthew Lillard which you hear in the trailer, so that's got to be what's going on.
No,
And,
it should be good.
It should be good. And I mean, that's all my thoughts on the Super Bowl movie trailers. Do you have any thoughts on Super Bowl commercials or Super Bowl itself, or are you pretty much Super Bowled out at this point?
There was a new Jeep Cherokee commercial that was hilarious.
Any particular reason?
Like, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it. So yeah, so this kid's like playing with like the singing bass fish on the plaque. You know,
Yeah, like the Billy Bass.
like take
yeah.
me to the river,
Dun,
singing that.
Dun.
And
The
and
novelty gag gift.
So the kid walks up to his dad with like tears in it, like looking at him like, we got to do it. Take him to the river. So they get in their Jeep Cherokee and he drives his son down to the river and
just toss
they
it in.
literally let him in and he swims off and he's like, and the dad's like, whoa, would you look at that? And then it turns around and the fish starts waving at him. He's like, oh, he's waving. And then a bear comes and he's like, ah! and he's like eating him. He's like, I can see my wires. He's like, oh, it's not your fault, son. It is totally your fault. It is all your son's fault.
Was that
That
really?
was really the Jeep Cherokee commercial.
Oh my God,
It
that
was
sounds amazing.
It was incredible. I was
I'm
in
gonna
tears.
look that up after the show. That's the funniest damn thing I've ever heard.
I was in tears. It was amazing.
Oh, that seems like a perfect time
Oh,
to jump into our first topic of the day. And that is spooky stuff, guys. We've been doing a lot of cryptozoology lately, so I thought we would jump into a historical haunting, probably prompted by my trip to Victorian Dracula Town of that movie. But hey, here we go on this week's spooky stuff.
The Hammersmith Ghost. It was the 19th century English ghost story that led to real-life tragedy and a landmark legal case. Get ready to unearth the haunting tale of the Hammersmith Ghost. London's history is rich with tales of hauntings and unexplainable phenomena, but few have crossed the line into real life in the way of the Hammersmith Ghost. This 19th century English ghost story began as rumors of a spectral figure haunting the streets, but soon spiraled out of control. The result was a deadly encounter that forever blurred the line between folklore and reality, and a court case that redefined the law. In the early 1800s, the area of Hammersmith was far from the bustling West London hub it is today. In fact, it was a quiet village on the outskirts of the capital. But in 1803, its peace was disrupted by a series of eerie sightings. Local residents began reporting encounters with a spectral figure dressed in white, particularly near and within the Hammersmith churchyard.
Yeah,
Which churches are creepy.
they are, and it makes sense. He got a name, the Hammersmith Ghost. I like how they're just wearing white though. I always wondered, is like, what does that mean? Like, are they wearing white clothes, or does that mean they're wearing like colored clothes that are turned white? Like, what do we do here? You know, if I was going to talk to a costume designer.
It's a spectral figure dressed in white, so
Yeah,
I mean that's
I guess-
pretty redundant.
I guess you're right.
Yeah. Pogo had something to say. Known as the Hammersmith Ghost, it was said to float silently through the streets at night, occasionally physically attacking people. Take that.
But it's like, is it only occasionally attacking people? Because you can imagine just walk by the ghost and you're like, 50% of the time it's fine. He might, throw a brick at you.
Yep, just walk on past the spectral ghost kids.
It's fine.
Don't mind them. Don't mind. I don't know why it became Southern when we're talking about London.
That's
Some accounts describe the apparition with glowing eyes, horns, or spectral chains rattling ominously in the dead of night.
yeah, feels very Dickens. I like it.
Quite. But by far, the most common depiction was of a tall figure dressed in all white shroud. Fear gripped the community, with many locals avoiding the streets after sunset. As rumors spread, the Hammersmith spirit became something of the harbinger of doom. Adding to the hysteria, several people who claimed to have encountered the ghost reported fainting or suffering from severe shock.
Yeah, it just feels like it scared you really good.
There were even tales of people dying of shock.
Never mind. I take it back. That's it. It's all right. Fair enough.
Dead of shock. Yeah, that's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
You're dead.
I'm dead shocked.
Shocking. By January 1804, the Hammersmith Ghost became a community-wide obsession. Groups of armed men began patrolling the streets, determined to capture the spectral menace.
I don't know what they thought about ghosts, but like, why are you armed? Is there ever a folklore where you could shoot a ghost?
I mean,
have crosses or some kind of holy water.
well,
I don't know.
yeah. I'd be armed with something of the like, right?
yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
mean-
like give me a super soaker filled with holy water.
Like, it'd be funny as hell if you watch like Poltergeist and he's just like, Carol Ann, where are you? With big skeleton. Bah, and he's like, pulls out a shotgun. Bad idea, ghost.
yes, yes. All right,
All
we're
right.
doing it.
All
We're
right, I
doing
take it back. Yeah, shoot ghosts. It's
Poltergeist, she's back and she's loaded. Like fully loaded. Like, yes. Okay. Anyways, so Around 10:30 p.m. on the evening of the 3rd of January, 1804, local bricklayer Thomas Millwood was walking near Black Lion Lane, just north of the River Thames. Thames?
Tims.
Times? I think it's Times. I think
Times. Yeah,
I believe so. He was wearing his work clothes, which were entirely white in color. At the same time, 29-year-old excise officer Francis Smith was armed and hunting for the ghost of the Hammersmith, convinced he could put an end to the terror. It was dark outside, but when Smith encountered a figure dressed entirely in white, he was certain he had found his mark. Smith raised his weapon and fired, killing Thomas Millwood. Smith was arrested and tried for willful murder at the Old Bailey. His defense argued that he acted out of genuine fear, believing the ghost of Hammersmith posed a threat. The prosecution countered that Smith's actions were reckless and based on superstition rather than evidence.
Your Honor, in my defense, there's a fucking ghost.
I was scared.
Like he was a spooky ghost. Like, why was he out there waving chains and stuff? It's creepy.
And now he really is a ghost. So, I mean, really, let's face it, I was right.
Oh.
So we can just go ahead with time served.
But this is kind of what I was bringing up earlier. Like, why are you trying to shoot a ghost? I feel like that should have been brought up in the court of law. Like,
Take
okay,
that.
like this wouldn't even hurt a ghost. Why did he have a gun?
How about you? Like, it's just, yeah, I don't think, I don't know. I don't carry around a gun. So, like, I don't know if I have
Despite
that.
what
like,
people think about all Americans, we
Right.
don't carry around guns.
I don't know if I would have that reaction to a ghost. Would I be like, oh, God, it's coming right for us?
If you had a gun, it might be your reaction. I don't know.
Maybe?
Everything I know about ghosts comes from the books, the movies, the supernatural stories, but nothing would be like you could attack and hurt a ghost. So my instinct would just be running. It wouldn't be like, let me punch it in the face.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nothing is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh my God. But no, yes. So let's
continue. Yes.
The jury initially convicted Smith of murder, but King George III commuted the sentence to manslaughter, sparing him the death penalty. Smith's punishment of 1 year's hard labor highlighted the legal challenge of weighing intent against actions influenced by collective hysteria.
Fair enough, but like 1 year hard labor in England in the early 1800s, that's gotta bad. That doesn't sound like that's going to be a nice time.
It's like, okay, today you're scooping the poops.
Well, I'm just
all
saying,
of the poop shoots.
I don't think anyone's job was easy or like short hours or they got a lot of breaks. So when they specify hard labor, it's like, oh my God, if that's normal, what is hard labor?
Like, yeah, that it does specify hard labor.
Yeah,
so
that sounds rough.
it sounds hard
Yeah,
Yeah.
labory.
and very laborish. The Hammersmith murder ghost case enforced England's legal system to grapple with the issue of culpability when fear or mistaken belief leads to harm. Could belief in the supernatural justify lethal force? It was only in 1983 that this was settled by the Court of Appeal in R. vs. Williams. This ruling finally determined that an assailant's actions had to be judged on the circumstances as he or she reasonably believed them to be, even if that belief was mistaken.
So if you can prove that you genuinely thought it was Bigfoot,
Thought he was a ghost.
yeah, you could shoot
Thought
a
he was a
ghost
ghost.
or an alien or anything, but you have to prove it. I'm pretty sure you have to like they'd have to go to your house, and be like, no, he definitely has one of those cork boards with all the strings attached to photos. He might have thought the ghost could have get shot.
That's yeah. They'd have to do like so. It's like no. This dude really.
Yeah, he really thought he was protecting the world.
That jury was just convinced. They were like, that dude believes in ghosts.
Yeah.
He thought it
Like-
was a ghost. Shouldn't have been wearing white when everybody's out hunting this ghost.
Yeah, but like, even if it was a ghost, why are you just out shooting it? Like it was
Because
like
it's hurting people.
I
It's
mean,
it's
okay.
scary. He's gonna kill the ghost. In a bizarre twist, shortly after the death of Thomas Millwood, a man named John Graham came forward claiming to be the real Hammersmith ghost. Graham, a local shoemaker. Oh,
You can never trust those goddamn cobblers.
so he's a leprechaun.
Fair
Well, this is in London, so we'll see. admitted to donning a white sheet to frighten his apprentices and later other townsfolk. Graham claimed to have done this as his apprentices have been scaring his children with ghost stories, and this was his chance to teach them a lesson.
Okay, hold on. So your apprentices are messing with your kids. So you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to scare my kids. Then why were you after that jumping and fucking with townsfolk? Like, did you decide being a ghost and scaring people was just fun?
He went
So
mad
you're
with power.
I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, he
I'm-
just loved it
be
so
like,
much.
Yeah, but like, you know what? I get why those apprentices were fucking with my kids. Messing with people and being scared is awesome. I'm going to go, screw with Mrs. Hutchinson down the street.
And then just so if this is true, that means just every now and then he was just like, Kia!
Yeah,
Just
You're
every
right.
now and then.
Every once in a while, he'd actually punch someone. Be like, Jesus, that ghost actually hit him.
Like, good Lord. Like, the kids, it just wasn't enough for him. Like, maybe you weren't scared enough,
Yeah.
right? And
Or-
he was just like, I'm scary, damn you.
Or maybe he's like, I'm going to spook like 30 people, but it's all just to punch Becky. like,
Right.
like it's if I.
If
like-
I
like-
scare 30 people, I can punch Becky. He's setting limits for himself, right? And so he's
no.
he's working on it. He's working on it.
That's silly.
He's not just punching Becky.
Why-
Right out.
You know, the
bat,
funny
right
thing
off
is,
the
like,
bat.
why did Becky's name pop in my head?
I
Becky's
don't
I don't even
know.
know someone named Becky.
Becky.
It could have been like Charles. I don't know a Charles either. Or Timothy. Or Tina? Or Tifa. Ooh, we can go Final Fantasy with this. All right, I'm done.
Tina
Continue.
Tifa? Despite
Despite.
his admission and the harm he had inadvertently caused, there's no record that Graham ever received punishment for his hoax. And while this revelation casts doubt on the ghost's supernatural origins, it also did little to dispel the lingering fear or undo the damage caused by his actions. Indeed, further reports of the so-called Hammersmith ghost continued to be reported in the years that followed, leading to some to suspect either copycat actions or the lingering remnants of mass hysteria.
Or I would propose that maybe actually is a Hammerstone ghost or a Hammers, and he's walking around, he's being a ghost, he's doing his thing, right? And he's never met anyone harmed, he's just doing his ghost thing. This guy was just dressing up as white because he knew the ghost was out there, and he's like, I'm gonna go out and punch Becky. That
Dude,
was-
it was
always
all
the-
to punch Becky.
Oh, I
Uh,
knew it.
no,
No, but seriously, if
so-
there's already a rumor of a ghost and you want to mess with people, you dress like the ghost. It's just a possibility.
right, or he could just be full of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
of
He could be
course, yes.
lying, like this John Graham guy. He could be like, I did it was me, because people do that. People make false claims a lot. So it's like, just to get attention.
Fair enough.
Like, and so who knows? The tragedy of Thomas Millwood's death highlighted how deeply folklore and fear could influence human behavior. The panic over the Hammersmith ghost led not only to mass panic, but also to a very real and irreversible consequence. A man's life was lost, and another was irrevocably altered. So
So
he did some damage.
yeah, don't try to scare children, I guess is the point.
Yeah, I guess that actually, yes. So
if
if
you try to spook kids with ghost stories, you're gonna get someone shot.
and now your boss is out here in the streets just punching Becky, and it's all because you had to tell some scary stories to his kids. Like, the man snapped. The man lost his fucking mind.
I like the idea. I like our original thought where he just did it a few times. The kids got scared, and then he just went mad with power.
He
Like,
did.
I
He-
could make anyone poop.
Dude, he loved it. Yeah, he went mad with power. He couldn't stop himself. He was loving it so much. He's like, well, it's not scaring them as much. They're kind of used to it. They know all my hiding spots. Like, they,
Frightening town folks. You
yeah.
know? That's the next step.
Yep. Don't do that around here. You'll probably get shot. Just saying.
Anyways, I think that's it for our spooky stuff this week.
It was a very good one. Thank you, Joe. Joe put this one together.
Oh, well, no problem, sir. No problem. And you know what? To jump back to the Oreo analogy, we've made it to the creamy pop culture center. The Earth Pop Report, talking about everything to do with Earth pop culture.
Woo! Here we go.
Ryan, are you ready to get your brain full of pop culture news?
No.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was going to do it anyways, and I prefer consent.
That's good. That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, right? Like, not going to find me in those files. Anywho,
oh boy.
the first thing that I'm going to say is Isabella Merced. If you're not aware, she played Hawkgirl in the new Superman.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. She's in the Last of Us season 2. I assume she'll be in season 3 as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, she is going to lead Sega's House of the Dead movie.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that arcade game?
I remember the old arcade game. It was insanely hard.
It
I
was.
I didn't get very far.
It was fun. It was fun. They made a port a few years ago that I played, and it didn't have the same feel as the arcade because, as you know, with the actual plastic guns, you like shoot off screen to reload.
Yeah.
And with this being a controller, you just hit a button, and it felt repetitive and annoying, not like in an arcade where it was fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I feel like the Wii was able to do it with that one Resident Evil game. It was
Sure.
like they totally did it like arcade style where it moves for you, it looks where
Yeah, it's called a track. You're on a track
Yes,
game. Yeah, a
yes.
track shooter or something like that.
yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah, so it seems like a fun movie project. It's going to be zombies and monsters. I mean, it was kind of all over the place, like Castlevania, as far as the monsters are concerned. To say it's just going to be a zombie flick would be incorrect. But they got a director that I would say is perfect.
I was gonna ask who.
Paul Anderson. And if you don't know, he is the gentleman who did a lot of the Resident Evils. He was the director of Event Horizon.
Okay.
He was the director of the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay.
He directed so much stuff. He's married to Emilia Jovovich.
All right. So I like most of that, but I will admit I don't know what I didn't like the Resident Evil movies. I really didn't.
Fair enough, but can't you see how the imagery might connect the dots to why you're going to get him to do House of the Dead?
Most certainly it does. It worries me. I hope he, doesn't go too crazy.
He's gonna, but it's House of the Dead. I feel like you can go crazier than with Resident Evil.
So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. I think he's a good choice.
Okay.
All right. Well, in other kind of video game news, they're doing more video game adaptations. The age where every video game adaptation is crap is over, Ryan. We're moving forward. We're having some good stuff. And one of the biggest video games in the last couple of years is Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know if you've played it.
I've been told I should. It's not on Game Pass, so I have not played it.
Fair enough. It's basically set in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and it's the closest thing you can get to playing Dungeons and Dragons in video game form, complete with dice rolls and all the mechanics that Dungeons and Dragons have. And I got to be honest, I found it very difficult to play because that's not the kind of video games I play. And every time I play Dungeons and Dragons, I had my own dice, so it didn't work for me. But I hear the story is amazing, and every video I hear online and everyone I know who games loves it. It makes sense that HBO is now going to make it into a television show. Craig Mazin is going to do it. He's the guy who adapted The Last of Us, and he did Chernobyl for HBO a few years ago, which was really good if you want to be very sad about how horrible the world can be, which I don't think anybody wants right now.
I was going to say, it couldn't get much worse. Why not?
Well, we didn't live through Chernobyl, so now I'm just saying.
So there you go. Get some perspective.
Exactly. But are you interested? Because essentially, this is a Dungeons and Dragons HBO show.
I still didn't even watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Which one?
The new one or whatever.
Okay, well, the new one with Chris Pine.
It was like I just saw the one scene where he's like singing and then his face starts melting or whatever.
Yes. I don't need to explain that scene for you, but the gentleman is a bard, so he definitely plays. No, the new Dungeons and Dragons film was wonderful. It flopped, which sucks, but it was a lot of fun. I couldn't recommend it more if you're a fan of think of Guardians of the Galaxy tone set into a fantasy world. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it was good. I just never got around to it.
I even like the original, the one that came out in 2000 with Thora Birch and Jeremy Irons. That one, and everyone hates that one. And then they made a weird straight-to-video sequel, and then they made a third straight-to-video sequel that the second one was so low budget, they only got the second bad guy to come back, like the second-tier bad guy. And then in the third one, it was so low budget, you can't even find it. It's like Wrath of the Dragon God or something. I don't know. These are really hard, obscure movies to find, Ryan.
That's pretty obscure, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's all I really got to say about that, except, hey, Baldur's Gate, very popular, love Dungeons and Dragons, and HBO. Well, let's be honest, HBO is the gold standard for television. So
I mean, yeah.
yeah. I mean, maybe things will change once Netflix owns it, but right now, gold standard.
Yes.
Gold. Gold brings us to our next topic, The Simpsons. Ryan, I know you're not a huge Simpsons fan.
I don't hate him. It's just it was never my thing.
Fair enough. Well, you could probably turn on an episode of The Simpsons and never see a movie or an episode that you hadn't already seen, like with no repeats, because they've been going on forever. I think in 89 was where they started, but on February 15th, they will be airing their 800th episode.
It's wild shit. That is so crazy that they've been doing it this long.
For a cartoon, a half-hour cartoon show, not like a soap opera, not something like a Tonight Show where they have, episodes every night or every week. No. A scripted, illustrated show, 800 episodes. Blows my mind.
People love The Simpsons. People love them.
They do. Simpsons World and Universal Studios Hollywood was a lot of fun when I think Mario World may have taken it over, but it was a lot of fun when that was a thing. Now Disney is contemplating whether or not they're going to start a Simpsons World, which makes sense. Disney owns the property now, and Universal must have been licensing the right to do it. I imagine whenever that deal is over, why not? Why not put it in a Disney park, have a little Simpsons section?
Got some Duff beer, I'm in.
I mean, they did have Duff beer. I had a Duff beer in a Duff can.
How was it?
It was probably like cheap, like beer that they just relabeled. It was okay. I don't remember anything
they
special.
Probably got like a local brewery to do it.
Sure, yeah.
Because remember, they did that for the movies pop-up restaurant. They had like local brews. Like,
yeah,
that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm down. Oh man, so Michelle Yeoh is getting a long-deserved star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She's going to get that Wednesday, February 18th. And man, she just recently got an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I didn't get to see that either.
You'd like it. It's a good multiverse movie. It's definitely a thinking man's multiverse movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's about family relationships, but it's really good. It won, I think it was either A24's highest grossing or most successful, because Jamie Lee Curtis won an Oscar for that. So did the Asian gentleman who was in Indiana Jones 2 and the Goonies. I forget his name, but he won an Oscar for it. A fantastic movie. Well, she is finally getting a walk on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Good for her.
I want one.
You want one?
I haven't earned one yet, but hopefully at some point I will, and I can get one.
Just keep on trying.
Well, honestly, they're not horribly hard to get. You essentially pay for one, but people have to sponsor you. I don't know if you have to already have one and then be sponsored by someone, or how it works. It might be like the Magic Castle where you could only get in if you know a member. I really don't know. But the second I feel as though I have accomplished enough, or the world feels as though I've accomplished enough, probably by the rate I'm going several decades from now, I am going to petition to get one, Ryan.
Hooray.
Everyone I know might be dead, and there might be no one alive who cares that I'm getting it. Thank you. I'll be in my 90s being like, I fucking told you guys. I told you all.
You did it. You finally did it, you son of a bitch.
I mean, it's never too late, man. I'll take an Oscar even if I'm in my 80s. It's cool. We can do it. We can do it. But hey, I'm really glad she's got one. A lot of people got one recently. Mark Hamill got one really recently. You know what I mean?
About time.
It is. But speaking of A24, since they did that Everywhere All at Once. No, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Speaking of A24,
okay,
they've actually obtained the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise.
Wow.
Well, it is kind of cool, man. Blumhouse got the rights to Halloween and remade Halloween. I think it's A24 who's doing the Crystal Lake, who is now doing, the Friday the 13th, and now Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Something about letting these horror icons live on.
Yeah.
I am down.
Me too. No, for sure. The last Leatherface was awful.
The one on Netflix?
Right. I don't know. It was, there might have been one since I seen this one, but like there was a scene on a bus where he was just like chopping people up on a bus and stuff, and it was just like
narrow it down for me.
It was really goofy. Like they definitely went goofy with it, and I didn't like it.
Well,
so Hopefully
just-
these guys do something more, to the tone.
I'm just wondering what movie you're talking about because all right,
It was
there's
one
a-
of them. I
There's
think
the
it was-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was the original Tobe Hooper film. There was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which was the second Tobe Hooper film.
It was a newer one.
So let me go through my list, right?
Okay.
There was the third one called Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. There's a fourth one called Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Then I think we had the remake of 2003, which was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That one was good.
3 years later, in 2006, we had Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which was a prequel to that one.
That one was good too. That was when he gets the cop uniform, right?
Yeah,
What's
sure.
his name? Yeah,
Oh.
that was a good one.
And then after that, years later, I think it was around 2013, they had Texas Chainsaw, which is a really weird one where Alexandra Daddario was in it. And apparently at the end, she's Leatherface's cousin and ends up joining him and tosses him the chainsaw and be like, kill him, cuz, or something like that.
I think that's the one.
You think that's the
I
one?
think that's the one. It
All
was
right.
really goofy and bad.
Fair enough. Well, after that, years later, it came out in 2022, maybe 2023. Netflix got the rights and they made a direct sequel to the first one and brought back the original heroine from the first one, the character, not the actress.
So I didn't see that one.
All right. Well, that one is also considered really bad. They tried to do what Halloween did with Jamie Lee Curtis, where they're like, we're going to get a girl from the original and make her a badass, but then we're going to subvert expectations and she's going to die immediately.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So sorry if I spoiled that one for you.
Well, it's been out for a while, so.
Well, A24, who now has the rights to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is going to do a television series first and then do a movie. So kind of a different take. I have to imagine the show would follow the family that works at the butcher's or the slaughterhouse, and then the slaughterhouse goes down and they all become the cannibal fucked up people they are. I assume that's what the show would be. And then you could jump into a movie, which is we're the effed up cannibal family.
We should get Bill Moseley back because he was in the second one.
Yeah, he was. He was Chop Shop.
Yeah.
Or Shock Chop. Shop Chop? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I love that guy though.
Yes. So I love that actor.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I've never been a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre anything.
I love the original, and that remake was really good.
I love the second one. The second one was more of a satire. It was kind of a comedy. It's one Bill Moseley is in. It's the one that Rob Zombie took a lot of influence in House of Thousand Corpses with the underground tunnels and everything that are in that movie. That all comes from Texas
It's been
Chainsaw
so
2.
long since I've seen that one.
Well, I'll tell you what. That one is definitely my favorite. And I like the game that they made. I'm pretty sure it's not really continuing now, but it was an asymmetrical survival horror video game where you played a survivor and tried to escape from the family. It was good.
I remember that. I watched you play it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Well, you ready to move on, or do you have any other thoughts on Texas Chainsaw?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, Cleve Duvall is going to join the cast of The Last of Us for season 3. Do you know who she is?
No.
Okay. She's one of those people that a lot of people might not know her name, but you'd recognize her face. So in the movie The Faculty, remember that film way back when?
Yeah.
Okay, well, she played the girl with the short hair. She was also in Carnival, which was an HBO show. She's in a bunch of things. Are you going to make me look her up? You don't know who she is.
No.
All right, well, not a problem. She is a unique actress who always tends to play these really, really cool, like deep but like broken characters. So honestly, it's perfect for The Last of Us's universe. I mean, I don't know how you could find someone to play that any better. But she did a bunch of movies. She was in Identity way back when with Jeannie. She was in Argo. She was But I'm a Cheerleader. And a character actress that you may or may not remember. Clearly, Handmaid's Tale is doing this for you, right?
Yes, I do recognize her.
Excellent.
I was
Well,
going to say Handmaid's Tale. I think I saw her in. Yeah,
makes sense. It's I can always tell the things you've seen with your girlfriend.
that's right.
Long story short, she's going to be in The Last of Us season 3, and I'm excited. Last of Us season 3 is probably going to be the final season. It's going to be Abby's story from her point of view, kind of like in the video game. It switches from the events of season 2, except from the antagonist's point of view, and that should wrap up the show. So I'm not sure who Clea Duvall is going to play, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess so. Yeah, I saw the first season. I didn't watch the second, so I'm behind again.
Well, just like the game, the second season of the movie is of the show is very divisive, and for many different reasons. Some of them are dumb and some of them aren't. A lot of people fell off. So,
Huh.
we'll see. I'll see your point of view when you watch it.
Okay.
All right. Well, speaking of having to wait a little bit for something, it looks like DC's upcoming Clayface movie has been pushed back. Now, do you remember Clayface?
He was a bad guy in Batman, wasn't he?
He is a
Yeah.
bad guy in Batman. So one of the new James Gunn movies, his segment, his first section of DCU is called Gods and Monsters. And we've had Creature Commandos, we have Superman, and we're going to get Supergirl. Well, we're also getting in October now. It used to be September. It was pushed back a month. Clayface, which could be a really good thing for Halloween. It's a body horror film. I mean, the take on Clayface are doing is the origin story where he is an actor who tragically this happens to him.
I was gonna say he was like a very emotional person. I remember there was a lot like he
Yeah,
hated what happened to him, obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely a way to do the substance with Demi Moore kind of played a little bit of the melting body kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it could really be creepy. So I think moving it to Halloween might be the right choice.
I
And
agree.
I'm not that worried. You push it back a month, that's fine. You push it back 6 months, I'm like, well, what's going on?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, it'll be good.
I think so too. And yeah. All right, that brings us to number 8. So Mike Flanagan, as you know, who's done a lot of Stephen King remakes. He's kind of like the Stephen King adaptation guy now.
Uh-huh.
Well, he is doing a remake of it's kind of funny to call it a remake because it's based on a book, but he's doing another retelling of The Mist, Stephen King's The Mist. Ooh, and I know you like the original, Ryan.
Yeah, I really like the original movie. I never read the book. I know it's just like a short story.
Yeah, but it's a
Um,
short story that's like 100 pages because it's Stephen King. So even his long stories are short, yeah, or not
Right.
short. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. You know what I mean? How they handle the story of the book, because I know there were certain things that the original movie kind of took a bit of liberty with when it came to the storytelling. So
Yeah, because in Stephen King's novel or novella, it doesn't really end. The characters drive off into the mist and they don't know if they'll survive or what's going to happen or what they'll find, and it kind of ends that. But Frank Darabont, for his 2007 movie, famously ended it on a very tragic note. So Ryan and I were talking before the show. We're wondering if this new Mike Flanagan version is going to stick with Stephen King's ending, take Frank Darabont's ending, or do his own original ending.
it would only make sense to do your own original ending. I think it would be an enormous mistake to try to do anything from the other movie. You should make this 100% your own telling of the story. Obviously, you got to stick to the story for the most part, right? But I feel like there's like a lot of liberty to really do something unique with The Mist, because there's a lot I feel like we're missing out on.
Well, yeah, because the mist rolls in, and it's basically another dimension that's leaked over into ours, and creatures from another dimension. And while we get to see plenty in the movie, and there's some crazy stuff, the idea of being more out in the mist instead of just trapped in the grocery store, like the book and the film take a majority, they're all trapped in the grocery store. If I'd like to explore more, I'd like to see more monsters and be out there more.
Yeah.
And before the show, Ryan and I were talking that maybe it would be a fun idea that we would end the original story of The Mist at like the end of the first act or the second
Mhm.
act, and have the rest of the movie be just kind of what happens next as they're off in their adventures surviving in the mist. Maybe
Right.
prolong that journey a little
Because
bit.
so much could happen.
Yeah,
right?
so
Like,
many
they
different
could-
creatures.
They could stop and maybe find gas. You know what I mean? They could
Yeah.
probably figure out how to siphon from cars.
What if they find like a destroyed military vehicle so they now have more guns and other
Yep.
things like weapons?
Yep, they could do that. We could have and it wasn't even in the book, I don't think, that the couple were even there, that the two people that were with them. So like you could literally do anything. You could have more people.
With them.
could-
You'd have to have more people with him if you want to have more cannon fodder, if you want to
Right.
kill more of the characters.
You could have his son get like carried off by something. You know what I mean? Like that didn't. You know what I mean? You could do anything. Like so, it'll be interesting what they choose.
It would be. You know what would be really interesting, Ryan, is if they escape the grocery store, and let's say we're 45 minutes in the movie, so you still have like half the movie to go, and it just pops up 2 years later. and the mist has
Huh.
been there for that long, and we have a straight up like post-apocalyptic situation
That
with
could-
survivors and like colonies discussing and traveling through the mist to like help each other and trade and all that other stuff.
That's crazy. That'd be a good idea, man.
That would be fun.
That
But
is cool.
regardless, I feel like the remake is in good hands. I like Mike Flanagan, and he knows Stephen King. For those of you who don't know, Mike Flanagan recently did The Life of Chuck, which was a Stephen King film. He did Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining.
And that was great. I like that.
That was great. You know what else he did, Ryan?
Hmm.
The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, and I just watched that, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so that's the guy who's going to do the new Mist movie.
Oh, he's going to do great. His character development, everything like that, it's superb.
It's very encouraging.
It is.
Well, on different news, Ryan, do you remember a while back when they announced that Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz were coming back for The Mummy 4?
Yes.
Yes. Well, guess what? The deal is signed. It's happening. They are officially come back for Mummy 4, and it's got a release date. It looks like we're going to get The Mummy 4 in the summer of 2028. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that original one came out in 1999. So that's quite a sequel, Joe. That's 29 years later, bud. Oof, crazy, right?
Dude, it hurts. But no, the original Mummy was amazing. I even loved all the sequels for what they were. So I'm always looking forward to a new Mummy with him.
I am too. There's not really much more to say beyond the fact that I'm excited to see these characters return, but I'm just wondering how it's going to be, because sometimes when it's like Indiana Jones, right? When they had that last one, The Dial of Destiny, I really liked it. I even didn't mind the Crystal Skull movie, but he had gotten so old that it felt very different. And while Brendan Fraser is not in his 80s or anything like that, him being Rick O'Connor and being all like action star, or is it going to be, I don't know, is it going to just be more like, he was the gunslinging guy. He wasn't overly intelligent.
He was a
so
badass.
How is he gonna? So is he gonna be a badass again? Are we gonna get an unbelievable, or is he gonna get like super ripped? I mean, with Hollywood trainers, he's not too like Hugh Jackman still gets ripped for Wolverine. You know.
I was about to say, I have a feeling that Brendan's going to come swinging. Like, I really think he's going to come up, because that's the thing about O'Connell. That's what we love about him, is that, yeah, like, he's good at comedy. Of course, he's Brendan Fraser, but he's also like, he was so impressive as Rick. Like, he was such
chemistry there.
He was such a badass. You know what I mean? Like, so there was something about it. I don't know. He was like kind of like, in a weird way, kind of a hero of mine when I was younger.
It makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Me too. For George of the Jungle, mostly because
That's
he
right.
hooked up with Leslie Mann. But that's just me.
That's right. George just lucky, I guess.
George's just lucky, I guess. Oh, man. And guys, with that, that's all the real genre news we have. But unfortunately, we have another fun final thing we got to do in the pop culture world. We got to say goodbye to some important people, so some important industry figures. And you know what, Ryan? I'm going to let you read this first one if you don't mind.
Brad Arnold, the lead singer and founding member of the American rock band Three Doors Down, died on Saturday after a battle with cancer. He was only 47. A rep for Arnold said he died peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by his wife and family. He was responsible for writing and producing the 2000 hit Kryptonite, one of the group's most enduring tracks. Arnold famously wrote the lyrics for the song when he was just 15 years old.
Which is incredible.
That's insane.
When I was 15, I wish anything I did would be like, this is someday going to be something that'll pay the bills when I'm 30.
And so as Brad Arnold said, what was it? Love me when I'm here. Write me when
Aw.
I'm wrong. Hold me when I'm scared.
Yeah.
I can't
I don't know the
remember whole thing,
lyric.
but
Yeah,
he was just
if
like,
you're trying to get me to
but
sing it,
either
I got
way,
nothing.
love me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
Is what that line ends with. So definitely, you know, it's one of those songs that I feel like we took for granted.
I
'Cause-
liked Three Doors Down, man. Three Doors Down. It was a good part of my life when I was like middle school, like high school stuff. I didn't keep up with the band, but that first album really, really liked it.
But they played that song a billion times a day on the radio stage. Like
Kryptonite?
yeah, it got kind of
If I
killed.
go crazier than where you
It-
to call my
yeah.
Superman.
It got kind of killed,
For
right?
you? Yeah,
it
that's fair
got
enough.
killed. But
yeah.
still
fine.
awesome. Still a iconic song from for our generation. Like literally, I believe it's like one of the most iconic songs we've got. So
So there you go.
there you go, man. What a legacy.
What a legacy indeed. And now, guys, I want to take a moment to talk about someone who this hit kind of home. So Meredith Kimani. Sorry, I always have trouble pronouncing the last name, but it's Kim, Kimani. Kanani.
Kimani.
My wife would correct me on this because she was very good friends with this woman. She was a film producer and a health and safety manager and a location manager in Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Yeah, no, I was.
Yep.
Excuse me. In Guthrie, Oklahoma, on last Sunday night, a 911 call was received by the operators from Meredith Kamami about a domestic disturbance at her home. According to the officers, the call was then abruptly disconnected, which prompted first responders to check on the scene. When they arrived, authorities say they found both husband and wife dead inside the home. And while no one wants to speculate, it appears as though this was a murder-suicide situation. The authorities wanted to make clear that there is no longer there's no public safety risk. And Meredith, she was really big in the Oklahoma film industry. I'm going to talk more about that later, but she did a lot, and she was actually the production coordinator, the person who finds location stuff, so location coordinator for the mayor, like actually helped the Guthrie mayor. And he actually said something that when she died, he actually had a public statement on his Facebook. He says, last night, could you read this? I'm going to let Chuck down.
No, you're all right, man. Last night, Guthrie lost a truly special person. Meredith was my location manager, but more importantly, she was my dear friend. I will miss her deeply. She had a genuine heart for others and was always looking for ways to help. I remember meeting with her about how the Blue Jay app could better serve individuals with disabilities. Just one example of how thoughtfully she cared for people. Meredith made our community better, and her kindness will not be forgotten, said Adam Ropp, mayor of Guthrie.
So Meredith was well loved in her community and well known in the Oklahoma film industry. Many in the industry say it was hard not to know Meredith because she was so involved with every step of the way. An industry colleague said she will forever leave a lasting impact on everyone who knew her. On set, Meredith worked as location manager, as we mentioned previously, and a health and safety manager. So for those of you who don't know, that would be like she was like a COVID officer, and she did so many jobs during COVID. So she was the one swabbing everybody's nose and making sure no one got sick. And that's actually how my wife got she met her and she worked for her, and she was on the set of a film called Snack Shack. And I don't know if that was Oklahoma or Virginia. She did a couple films, but
Okay.
Just to say that's what a health and safety manager is. And as set medic, she just started doing more producing and was about to start a production company. She worked with my wife, like I mentioned, Liziana Wakefield, on 3 productions, a reality show here in Detroit, a TV show in Oklahoma, and a movie in Nebraska. Snack Shack was the movie in Nebraska. She is heartbroken, my wife, and so is everyone who knew Meredith. So we wanted to give her a little bit of respect here because she is a big part of the film industry. Sometimes people forget that these movies have thousands of people that help make them happen. And it's not just the one actor, the one director, or the one screenwriter you heard of. There are people every day working 12, 16-hour days, busting their hump simply because they love movies and they just don't know how to do a normal job. They just have to be there creating. And that was Meredith. And we know she will be missed. And I just thought it was important to mention. That's it, Ryan.
No, I'm glad you did, man. It's such a shame. Such a shame.
So pour one out for Meredith Kamami and
That's right.
everyone who knew her in Oklahoma. Respect, and her work will live on.
It will. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to everyone who was impacted by this loss. Definitely.
Definitely.
All right. And sorry to end on a little bit of a somber note.
Hey, no, she deserved that. That for sure. For sure. But yeah. So I guess that brings us to the final cookie.
Yeah.
Of the podcast.
We've made it through the creamy center.
We did it.
All our pop culture has been digested, and now the other cookie. Here
we
is a little bit about aliens on this week's
Disclosure discussion. Ha 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 ha. It's about aliens and stuff.
The story of the Men in Black.
Here come the men in black. I'm just channeling my inner Will Smith.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, last time I smacked you really hard.
Yeah. Yep. Still got Summertime ringing in my ears. The mysterious figures that would become the subject of fascination in UFO conspiracy circles and eventually break into mainstream popular culture can be traced back to one day, June 27th, 1947.
Yeah, June 27th, 1947.
It all started with a man, a boy, and a dog on a boat. As the story goes, Harold Dahl was on a conservation mission on the Puget Sound near the eastern shore of Washington's Maury Island, gathering logs, when he saw 6 donut-shaped objects hovering about a half a mile above his boat.
Oh, that don't seem normal.
Before long, one of them fell nearly 1,500 feet, followed by raining metallic debris, some of which hit Harold Dahl's son, Charles, on his arm, as well as the family dog, who did not survive.
I mean, I guess you're lucky it didn't hit the kid in the head, right?
Horror?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a really weird and tragic way to lose a dog. Like, no one wants to lose a pet, but having a pet be hit by, like, falling debris from a UFO, it's like on top of the fact your dog died, no one's going to believe you.
Well, Harold Dahl was able to take some pictures of the aircraft with his camera, which he later showed to his supervisor, Fred Chrisman. A skeptical Chrisman went back to the scene to look for himself and saw a strange aircraft with his own eyes.
Oh, well, I guess never mind. He had proof and solved it. Ryan, I was wrong. My
There
bad.
you go.
My bad, guys. My bad.
The following morning, Harold Dahl was visited by a man in a black suit. They end up at a local diner where the man was able to recount in extraordinary detail what Dahl had just experienced. What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe, the man said. According to author Gray Barker's 1956 book, They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers. That's rather specific.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool name, though.
Yeah, honestly, it's pretty cool.
They knew too much about flying saucers, them men in black. They looked all like, hey, we got the info, and I want to know.
That's too much, man.
It's a subtitle.
Harold Dahl was told not to speak of the incident. If he did, bad things would happen.
Ominous.
The supposed events of Maury Island have continued to fuel conspiracy theories to this day. However, the Maury Island story gained little notice in the UFO community until Gray Barker's 1956 book, in which he wrote of his file on the Maury Island case. Gray took Harold Dahl to breakfast and 3 similarly dressed men who allegedly visited a young UFO enthusiast named Albert K. Bender in 1953. It was Albert K. Bender who almost single-handedly ushered in the plague of the Men in Black. Ufologist Nick Redfern wrote in his book, The Real Men in Black. But it was Gray Barker's book that told Albert Bender's story, thus introducing the concept of the MIB to a much wider audience. It still has an important legacy, said Robert Schaefer, a UFO researcher. Before its publication, nobody outside of a very narrow group of subscribers to Flying Saucer newsletters had ever even heard of Albert K. Bender or his MIB.
Yeah, so it's like Albert was like, all right, this happened to me. This was a thing. And he told people, but he didn't do it well enough. It took Baker to write his book to be like, this is a well-telling of the event. And then suddenly everybody was like, oh, shit.
He has a way with words. I will read this.
He's such a creative man.
Very. Gary Barker described Albert Bender's visitors as 3 men in black suits with threatening expressions on their faces. 3 men who walk in on you and make certain demands. 3 men who know that you know what the saucers really are. Albert Bender, in his own 1962 book, Flying Saucers and the 3 Men, described the MIB in much more frightening language. They floated about a foot off the floor. They looked like clergymen, but wore hats similar to the Hamburg style. The faces were not clearly discernible, for the hats partially hid and shaded them. The eyes of all 3 figures suddenly lit up like flashlight bulbs. They seemed to burn into my very soul as the pains above my eyes became almost unbearable, wrote Albert Bender.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, so there's a movie called Dark City. Have you ever seen that film, Ryan?
New.
Okay, so it came out in '98, and it was really good. It came out before The Matrix, but it kind of like you could tell The Matrix stole some stuff from Dark City. But they have aliens in that film, and in that film, those aliens are like described like that. They are the Men in Black. They do float like foot off the ground. They have the hats, they have the coats, and they're kind of bald and pale like the people in Fringe that are like the observers. So they took a lot of like the Men in Black and creepy theories out of all different things. I don't know. I just really like Dark City and think you should watch it, Ryan.
I will add it to the list, Joe.
I know I give you a big list.
It's a big list. So Gary Barker would go on to write several more books related to the paranormal and UFOs, including 1970's The Silver Bridge, which helped spread the story of another popular paranormal figure, the creature known as Mothman.
Mothman.
Countless MIB encounters have been reported since They Knew Too Much was published nearly 60 years ago. Today, the Men in Black infamous sighting continues to spark legends. It continues to evolve into a key obsession for UFO enthusiasts and spread into American popular culture thanks to the comic book series and 4 blockbuster movies. In all of their different incarnations, the Men in Black, or the MIB, usually have one main purpose: to muzzle witnesses of strange paranormal phenomena. They almost always wear black suits and hats with dark sunglasses, drive black cars, and arrive in groups of 2 or 3. Some describe them as one would an FBI agent, while others recall the MIB as having strange appearances, sometimes with supernatural features like the glowing eyes and strange complexions or floating.
Yeah. Do you think the Men in Black are humans or aliens or both? I mean, if it's some kind of galactic agency, it could be possible we have aliens working with the humans.
They could even be synthetics
Ooh, I
that
like
are working for the alien, that the aliens like sent here.
Yeah, like robot humans,
Yeah,
just
to,
kind of
like,
like
do their bidding,
like
yeah.
basically humanoid drones.
Yeah, like something like that.
Oh man, that's creepy. Oh man, that's really creepy. That's weird, Ryan. Drones are weird. They really are weird. You know what? You know what else is weird, Ryan?
What's up?
What we're going to talk about next.
All right.
So I didn't want to cut. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm going to take a second. Guys, for those of you who don't know, Joe was just transitioning into the next topic, real world weird.
Flawlessly. That
Flawlessly.
No one could
could've
even
saw.
tell. It was clean. There was no fat on that.
All right. So the next real world weird is about this kind of situation with drones, and I thought it kind of was a good transition. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you have anything else you want to say about the Men in Black?
No.
Excellent.
No, I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh, fair enough. Well, then it was a flawless transition, and we shall do it again.
That's right.
Check out this week's
Real World Weird.
I gotta be honest. I feel a little bad that I just kind of like ran through and steamrolled the Men in Black. All right, the Men in Black are really cool. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about, and all our alien enthusiast friends out there, I'm sorry. To be perfectly honest, I just really wanted to get to the real world weird and to talk about this topic because this real world weird messed with me, and I want to know what you guys out there are gonna think. So remember, after you listen to this, if you have any thoughts, feel free to share them with us. You could hit us up at Earthling Entertainment Podcast at gmail.com or any of our socials.
Russian startup allegedly uses brain implants to turn pigeons into surveillance drones.
Now, see how smooth of a transition that was now?
Russian neurotechnology company Niri claims to have successfully turned pigeons into biodrones using implanted brain interfaces. Modern drones are efficient and versatile, but Moscow-based startup Niri believes pigeons are superior because of their greater range, endurance, and ability to access hard-to-reach locations. They don't require batteries, they can fly in different weather conditions, and they are easily replaceable.
That's kind of harsh.
It's a little harsh.
Yeah.
Gary the pigeon is a good pigeon. Be good to Gary.
Yeah.
But how does one control a pigeon as they would a drone? Niri claims to have developed brain implants that allow its staff to remotely control the birds, effectively turning them into biodrones. Small electrodes are inserted into the bird's brain through the skull and connected to a stimulator mounted on its head. The birds are also equipped with a solar backpack that houses a controller and other electronics, as well as a chest-mounted camera for surveillance purposes. In a press release, Neary explained that controller receives a preloaded flight task similar to those used in aerial drones, while the stimulator sends impulses that make the birds turn left or right, with positioning provided by GPS and other navigation methods. Neary claims that its method requires no prior conditioning of the birds, as any animal becomes radio controllable after the implantation operation. The startup surgeons use a stereotactic setup to place electrodes accurately in the brain, which should guarantee 100% survivability. Although,
Does this not sound like
No.
horrible
This
sci-fi?
is
crazy-
horrible.
I know. Anybody who's a fan of the Fallout Season 2 is probably getting some deja vu because brain implants to control the body is a big part of Season 2. That is all I could think of when we were reading this article.
Although it has yet to offer its cyborg pigeons commercially.
Yeah, they're not going to
Sorry.
sell that to the public. Like,
The-
here you go, make your own pigeon cyborg.
The Russian company compared the cost of creating a biodrone to that of building an unmanned aerial vehicle, with the added bonus that a pigeon can fly up to 300 miles a day without requiring a battery recharge and can operate in restricted airspace. According
Yeah,
to
that's the creepy.
so
That's the creepy
that's-
stuff. That's what we're going for here.
According to Neary founder Alexander Panov, pigeons are just the start of the company's PJN-1 project. Virtually, any bird can be implanted and controlled remotely. So now we're going to have hawks.
Yeah, man, they're like eagles,
Yeah.
buzzards. Basically, well, here's the thing.
Vultures.
You know how they say any bird? That means any bird native to a foreign land,
Yeah.
which, like, for instance, if there's just like an American bald eagle, we're going to be like, oh, look, a bald eagle, but we're not going to think it's weird.
We control a turkey.
Yeah. I think pigeons are everywhere, so I can just stick with pigeons.
Yeah, stick with pigeons.
Turkey would be kind of funny because they don't fly, so it's just kind of this weird little turkey with this like machine on its a little helmet. It's like, gobble, 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 gobble.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, you
They're
know,
gonna
this
spy on us and find out the truth about Thanksgiving.
they could just let like a handful of these go in New York City. Know the difference. All there is in New York City is rats and pigeons. That's like
No.
literally all there is. So
Oh my god.
like, yeah. So right now, the solution works on pigeons, but any bird can be a carrier, Panov said. To carry more payload, we plan to use ravens for monitoring coastal facilities, seagulls, and for large sea areas, albatrosses. Neary claims that the biodrones could be used in a variety of situations, from monitoring infrastructure and inspecting industrial sites to assisting humans in rescue missions. No mention of covert surveillance and military use, but experts fear that should the drones work as advertised, Putin's regime would be all over them.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah, who wouldn't?
I mean, honestly, I don't mean to like poke fun at any country because any country's leader would jump on that. If it happened in the U.S., I mean, yeah, our people would definitely abuse it. Everybody would abuse it.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary. It reminds me of Sauron. You know, the birds are spying on us.
That's right. Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
right? And it's
right?
like, but I feel like in Australia, they would just use it to like film surfing and stuff like that. Like I don't feel like Australians would like use that
I
for
didn't say
nefarious.
Australian. I said Sauron.
Oh, no, yeah, Sauron. No, I knew that. I was just saying that when it comes to like, you were saying that every place would take bad advantage of this. I feel like Australia would be cool.
Oh.
Like if Australia like got their hands on this technology, they'd be like, that's pretty cool. And like, I think they'd just use it for fun stuff.
I don't know. I trust the Netherlands. They seem to like take care of their people and care about the environment and
That's
get their
true.
act together. So I think.
So I don't think they would do
So like
this.
Norway, Sweden, Finland, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, they won't do this. They would be like, that's fucked up.
Although they might do it with ravens because Odin had ravens that spied for him.
That's true.
So it'd be very culturally appropriate.
Indeed.
Yes.
So we don't have a lot to go by for now. And for all we know, Neary's PJN-1 project could be a lot less impressive than it sounds. After all, we've seen plenty of Russian tech failures in the past. So
the writer of that article throwing some shade.
threw a little bit of shade there.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a good scare tactic. So even if they weren't as close to doing it as they said, it works with freaking me out, freaked you out.
It's definitely freaky. Yeah.
And if it's real, then it'll absolutely be abused because that's what we do as humans. Someday I hope we evolve past that, but I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetimes.
I don't know either. But yeah, I have a feeling that if they figure this out, we won't hear about it ever again.
Yeah, we're just gonna get birds by us. 1984, except instead of like a van coming around, the thought police, we're gonna have the thought bird police.
It's like, is that bird wearing a backpack?
Yeah, yeah, right. There's a bird like standing at your window looking at you, cocks its head. It's got like a weird helmet with little electrodes. Be like,
He's got a camera.
I'm a little worried
He's
about
literally got a camera.
this. Pay no attention to the pigeon.
Oh, okay. He
All
said
right.
don't pay attention.
All right, moving on.
Anyway,
Speaking of moving on, we have one last Real World Weird, and this one is less scary and more goofy. I thought with that that little bit of a scary, oh my god, birds are gonna spy on us, that we should end on kind of a funny note.
sounds good. Former pizza shop employee arrested after commandeering restaurant.
Arr.
In a strange incident from North Carolina, a former Little Caesars employee is in considerable trouble with the law after allegedly breaking into the restaurant and hosting a makeshift pizza party where he sold the pies himself.
Yep.
The peculiar case detailed on social media by the Kinston Police Department occurred on Sunday after the city had been walloped by a massive snowstorm. Responding to a call from the community's Little Caesars pizza shop, officers arrived on the scene and were informed that there had been 2 break-ins at the restaurant, with the first such incident being particularly audacious.
Oh, yes. Please tell. This guy had some balls on him, I gotta say.
According to police, earlier in the day, former employee Jonathan Hackett busted into the restaurant and began making pizzas. Incredibly, cops say he did not specifically make the pies for himself, but instead sold them to customers and kept the proceeds. After the impromptu pizza party, Hackett left the shop only to return later when employees were there. This led to a brawl between the man and his former coworkers, who promptly reported the situation to the police. Hackett was subsequently arrested and charged with 3 felony accounts related to the ill-advised escapade. That's pretty extreme for making some pizza.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know how many pizzas he gave away, and it's like breaking, entering, and then it's stealing from the company. There's a lot of things, but it's just, I feel like in movies, like goofy things happen, and characters do goofy things, and this seems like something that would happen in like a fun-loving movie.
It
but
does.
in real life, it's just like no consequences.
Consequences.
I wish the world was more magical. Then again, if it was my business, I'd be pissed. So
I mean, this is what I think. I'm being honest. I feel like that's a little extreme.
Fair
I think
enough.
you should get him for like a breaking, like give him breaking and entering for sure, but make him pay back what he owes for the damages. Make him pay back for that. I don't know.
I don't know.
A kid who breaks into Little Caesars and starts making pies in the
Instead
middle
of
a
former
snowstorm.
employee, the dude could have been 50. You don't know.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. I don't know his age, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm just imagining it's a kid because it's a Little Caesars.
I'm just imagining how that happened. Like he breaks in and he makes himself pizza. Maybe because he wants a pizza and he's like, oh, snowstorm, no one's going to be there.
And
I
maybe
know how to
someone
make it.
saw him and they came in for a pie.
Right, and he panicked. It was just like, sure, I've worked. I know how to make a pie. And then it just kept happening. And he's like, shit.
Yeah, he just got in too deep.
Yeah,
He just couldn't stop, and he's just like, I mean, these people are hungry.
Yeah, there's a line out the door because there's a snowstorm and it's the only place open.
Right. So he did a bit of a service for the community. I honestly
He
really,
could have, allegedly.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like giving the people some pizza doesn't deserve 3 felonies. That's just me. Whatever breaking and entering is, give them that. But everything else,
I
just
think
make them pay it
breaking
back.
and entering is still jail time.
I mean, yeah, even if that is, I don't know if that's a felony or not. If it is, that's the one he deserves.
It should be.
It should be.
Okay, you know what? It depends, right? Because if you break into a store, and I'm not talking about if you steal anything or not. I'm just saying if you break into a store, I feel like that maybe shouldn't be a felony if you didn't steal anything. But if you break into someone's home, that's scary and dangerous and definitely should be.
I agree. I
Right?
agree. Like, yeah, because it's
I
not
mean,
like
if
he raided the cash register or the safe. He literally just made pizza.
According to the article, yeah.
And I mean, he pocketed the money. So, I mean, that's wrong.
So we're not
but
perfect. Not perfect.
No.
Yeah, but. Oh, well, that's
it's
just.
Little Caesar we're talking about. It's only $5.
It's not even that good a pizza. I'm just saying.
Sometimes it's okay.
Uh,
That's okay. I like the little pepperoni, like little dudes.
I got to be honest. The only thing I like worse than Little Caesar pizza, as far as like the ranking of pizza, is 7-Eleven pizza.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there. Yeah,
7-Eleven pizza was like $5 or $6 for a whole pizza, and the
Any-
sauce gives you heartburn. The bread don't taste right. It feels like the most frozen, artificial, preserved pizza ever.
I
Oof.
remember I used to just get like a hot dog. If I was gonna grab food from like a 7-Eleven, just grab a hot dog. I feel like that's like the safest food.
Yeah, I mean, if you are one who eats hot dogs, I agree. You know,
I
it's
do
it's
eat
just
hot
a
dogs, Joe.
Well, I'm just saying in general, because some people make the joke that they won't eat a hot dog because they don't know what's in it.
Do you not? So do you eat hot dogs?
Yeah,
I was
eat
gonna
hot
say, yeah, we fuck with hot dogs heavy on this podcast.
dogs. Call us Sonic the Hedgehog because we're chili dog people.
Oh, dude, I am a chili dog peoples.
All right. You know what? I always thought that was funny that Sonic the Hedgehog liked chili dog, and you know that's from Ninja Turtles. Simply because Ninja Turtles
Yes.
liked pizza. Then they also did the same thing where I think it was Street Sharks, like hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yep, was there? Yeah, they did that, and
Yeah.
then there was also there was a whole nother cartoon, wasn't it like Rats or something like that? And they did something.
Well, that doesn't narrow that shit down. There's a lot of cartoons of rats. Are you talking about Capital Critters?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Respectively withdrawn.
Fair enough. And with that, guys, we're going to end today's show. This week's show, we hope you enjoyed it. And make sure to check us out next week. If you haven't already, please remember to hit the download button. Downloading this show is actually the best way to support us. Also, you don't have to just download it on one podcast app. You could download it on all the podcast apps. Give us 5 downloads an episode. Why not? That's Spotify. That's Audible. That's Apple Podcast. That is Good Pods. That is iHeartRadio. That is Amazon. Ooh, we got 6.
That's
and I
right.
think there's more. Honestly,
Oh, I'm sure there's more.
yeah, we get distributed to a lot of places. Like, I didn't even know what Good Pods was before we started doing our show. And suddenly they're like, oh, people have downloaded you on Good Pods. And I'm like,
Nice.
what? Okay, great.
But more importantly, the best way to support the show is to share it, to word of mouth. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your grandma, to share us with your dog. We're pretty big with cats.
Oh, yeah.
But no, for real, share us around. Thank you guys for listening.
And from everyone here at Earthling Entertainment, see ya.
And goodbye.